thank you for joining us this evening. We are here this evening to tell you about our advanced programs and our academy. My name is Crispian Lees. I'm the head of education at Advantage Learn, and I'm going to take you through these programs and help you to understand what they are all about. And I'm going to talk this evening about the advanced programs and the academy. So that's what we're going to be covering this evening. We'll first talk about our advanced program mathematics and our advanced program physics courses, what the AP subjects are, why you should consider doing the advanced programs next year, and how to go about applying to do them. And then we'll move on to our Advantage Learn Academy, an Academy Plus, and talk about what is the Academy and what is the Academy Plus, and then give you some insight in terms of how to apply to those programs as well. Okay, so I'll spend about 30 minutes on the advanced programs and then around about the same time on the Academy, and feel free to ask any questions as I go along. That's what I'm here to do this evening, is to answer your questions and help you to understand what these are all about. And those of you on Zoom with us this evening, I'll pick up those questions immediately. Those of you joining us on Facebook, Norm, who's on this evening supporting, will relay the questions to me and we'll address them. There will also be some time during the presentation for Q&A. Okay, so let's move straight on to what is advanced program maths and advanced program physics. All right, so the advanced programs are an IEB certificate, a separate and additional qualification that learners in South Africa can study towards and write in their grade 12 year. The genesis of the advanced programs actually came out of what was called additional maths back when I was at school, back when many parents listening would have been at school. I did add maths when I was at school, and when it was previously called that, it was part of the National Senior Certificate. It was a subject, it was an additional subject that could be studied as part of the National Senior Certificate, and essentially it was an advanced mathematics course that covered university level concepts at a high school level and extended learners. Many years ago now, I think around 2008, the Department of Basic Education took the decision that they would no longer offer the additional mathematics as part of the National Senior Certificate. Many schools across the country were not able to resource those subjects well enough, and the department wanted to focus on the core subjects, and so made the decision to do away with the additional mathematics at that time. And it was, for many reasons, a sound decision at that point. However, the IEB recognized at that time that while there was some good reason for this decision, this was to the detriment of learners who needed to be extended at a high school level. And so they took on the decision and the work to repackage the add maths into advanced program mathematics. And out of that, since 2008, the IEB have registered advanced program qualifications that learners can do to extend themselves and ultimately better prepare themselves for tertiary study. That is the goal when it comes to the advanced programs, to better prepare learners for tertiary study. And so they went to great length to go and benchmark these programs against the GCSE advanced level certificate, which is the highest secondary education leaving certificate that you can achieve in the UK. And so the advanced programs essentially are extension programs which are an additional qualification, and in combination with the National Senior Certificate really make a South African learner's leaving certificate at a high school level globally relevant. And there are many international universities that actually cite the advanced programs as sufficient further studies to be considered to be eligible to apply. For instance, at Cambridge University, that was cited in their prospectus for international students. Okay, so the advanced programs are advanced and they essentially cover university level concepts at high school. Now, the natural question that comes from that last statement is, well, if I'm going to cover them at university, then why cover them at high school? And there is very good reason for that. First of all, if we talk about mathematics and applied mathematics, which is somewhat close to, which is very similar to physics actually, those are two of the most failed degrees at a first year university level. And a lot of the reason why learners are not successful at a tertiary level is either because the gap between high school and university is too big in terms of their learning, or they just can't cope with the step change in rate of learning that occurs when learners move from high school to university. So if we take advanced program mathematics, for instance, advanced program mathematics is a 3-year program from grade 10 to 12. Those advanced concepts that are covered in the advanced program mathematics are largely covered in the first semester of first year university in a maths-oriented degree program. And that is a very clear indication of the step change in the rate of learning that is required when learners move from high school to university. In high school, learners are given a lot of time to grapple with concepts and come to terms with them, whereas in university, courses move swiftly and learners are required to keep up with the program in order to succeed. And so the advanced programs serve those purposes. They ensure that the gap between high school and university is bridged, and they give solid grounding to enable learners to succeed in some of the most failed courses at a university level. So at Advantage Learn, our philosophy around the advanced programs is that the fact that learners are challenging and extending themselves is really going to cultivate a growth mindset and resilience or grit, which is really important in their development and far more important in the marks that they achieve in our advanced programs. The advanced programs are tough courses, but the growth and the work ethic that learners experience as a result of doing them is really profound in their development. And so participation in these programs really does trump performance in our view. And it's important to state at the outset that if you are considering taking the advanced programs, that you take them on with that mindset that as long as you are experiencing growth, you are interested in studying the advanced programs and you are seeing positive effects in overflowing into your core subjects, your core physical science or your core maths, then it's a good idea for you to continue and you shouldn't worry too much about the marks that you achieve. A pass in the advanced programs in grade 12 is an admirable achievement, and that's often something that requires a little bit of rewiring in learners' minds and sometimes in parents' minds, where you're not always going to achieve these straight A's or 90% in subjects. You are going to have to struggle sometime. You're going to have to learn how to struggle with sometime, and you're going to have to realize that sometimes getting 45% in a course is actually doing really well, and it's all really relative. So that's the philosophy that we take at Advantage Learn in terms of the advanced programs. In terms of why you should consider doing AP Maths and AP Physics, first off, it really does improve your core subject results. So advanced program maths will improve your maths, even though it is a more advanced subject. Advanced program physics will improve your physical science, even though it is a more advanced subject. And that's simply by virtue of the fact that you are being extended, you are learning things that are more advanced, and therefore that will naturally lead to you improving your foundations and basics in order to grapple with the advanced subject. So it's a different approach to an extra maths or math support or extra science or science support, where those programs come in at the core subject level, core maths or physical science, and support you at that level. Advanced program maths and advanced program physics come in at a high level, and they actually cause you to improve by extension, which is a great thing. The other reason is that these advanced programs undoubtedly help in university applications. As I just mentioned, a pass in the advanced programs is a commendable achievement, and universities look at that very favorably when assessing applications towards universities. A pass in the advanced program says volumes about both a learner's aptitude and their work ethic, which are both very important to succeeding at a tertiary level. And essentially, the universities look at a learner who's taken the advanced programs as someone who has what it takes to succeed in very difficult degree programs and in very competitive degree programs. Because ultimately, what a university wants to do is admit learners that have the highest probability of succeeding at the degree programs to which they are applying towards, while ensuring that access to tertiary study is enabled in a fair and equitable way. And so, to such an extent that Wits University recognize advanced program mathematics, the advanced programs in their APS score, their advanced academic placement score, which is the score that you calculate in terms of applying towards universities. As I've mentioned, learners are less likely to struggle at university if they've taken the advanced programs, because they have learned things ahead of time. They've, by virtue of that, had to establish a solid foundation, and also they've developed really positive work ethic in terms of grappling with difficult programs that will serve them well at university. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say in that regard. The other thing that is beneficial is that advanced learners that take advanced programs actually find the national benchmark tests, which many learners applying to South African universities will need to write in their grade 12 year, because the advanced programs teach learners to think about things differently and approach things differently. And the national benchmark tests are a very different style of assessment, which require a bit of lateral thinking and a lot more insightful thinking. Yeah, and then there's two really kind of profile of candidates which the advanced programs are really beneficial for. One is your mid-aptitude learner who is smart, not brilliant, but smart, but has solid work ethic, is diligent, and by virtue of that combination achieves brilliantly at a high school level. For that type of learner who's not necessarily smart, but not necessarily the smartest, they often take a little bit more time to come to terms with new concepts and advanced concepts. And so learning those concepts ahead of time at a high school level helps them no end and gives them the step up that they need at university when that step change in rate of learning happens, to make sure that they get over that initial hurdle and they succeed. They've got the work ethic, but they don't necessarily pick things up quickly, and so that helps them in adjusting to the rate of learning that's coming at a tertiary level. Then the other type of candidate is your exceptionally smart learner, gifted with a brilliant mind that picks things up really, really quickly, which is fantastic. But unfortunately, as a generalization, that often leads to the development of bad habits in terms of work ethic and approach to their studies. They're so smart that they can study the night before and get a great result. They don't need to do their homework because they pick things up so quickly. And while that is great in terms of enabling a lot of free time at a high school level, unfortunately, it means that those learners don't necessarily develop the work ethic, resilience, and diligence that they will inevitably need beyond a high school level. And so the advanced programs are often the first opportunity for that profile of learner to be really challenged and extended, and force them to develop solid work ethic, resilience, learning to struggle with something, but succeed, and the success is worth the struggle. And then the advanced programs are, as I've mentioned previously, recognized by international universities, and that is a significant benefit in terms of doing them, to such an extent that the IEB have actually just launched an international secondary certificate, of which the advanced programs are a fundamental component. And I'll talk a little bit to that as we go forward in the presentation. Who should do AP subjects? The advanced programs, learners with a strong core subject competency. So if you're considering AP maths, you should be doing well. You should be doing well in core maths already. If you're considering advanced program physics, you should be doing well in physical science and maths already. And we generally say that you should be achieving at least over 70% in your core subjects to be considering the advanced programs. Then learners who are interested in maths and or physics and want to excel. So if you have a specific interest in maths or physics, then it's definitely something you want to consider. Learners who want to enter competitive degree programs. The advanced program certificates are a differentiator in terms of application towards tertiary study at universities, and seats at universities in the competitive degree programs are limited. And so it is a very powerful differentiator in terms of strengthening your application. And then any learner looking at any tertiary degree or course that requires a level of quantitative or scientific ability. So your bachelor, your BScs, your Bachelor of Science degrees, engineering, accounting, your commerce degrees, accounting, business science, actuarial science is a significant one that you should definitely consider advanced program mathematics. Medicine, while medicine doesn't have that much maths in it, it's such a competitive degree to get into that you need the advanced programs as a differentiator. And then technology degrees, computer sciences, those types of things. So I studied engineering. I did additional maths back when I was at school, and it helped me enormously to succeed at my degree in minimum time, which was really, really helpful. And I can't recommend doing it enough. And then learners looking to study overseas, because if you're in South Africa looking to study at an international institution, you want to make sure that your national senior certificate is supplemented to ensure that it's globally relevant. All right, so in terms of options for AP subjects for 2022 at Advantage Learn, we have a number of streams that learners can study the advanced programs. The first being our guided online stream. This is more like a classic online course where it's comprised of studio produced video lessons that we prescribe to learners weekly. Learners are then able to complete the lessons at a time which suits them. The lessons are geared around smaller moments of learning, video lessons of between 5 to 20 minutes in length that learners can structure around their timetable. Learners can pause, rewatch, and rewind. They're in frequent contact with our program coordinators to assist with any queries and ensure that learners are kept on track. And learners have access to our dedicated AP Maths and AP Physics support via our class WhatsApp groups, where they can get support from a technical and coordination perspective, but can also ask content-related questions and get support from the educators and their peers in the class. It also includes a physical write-on textbook. So learners, even though they are studying online, they have a physical write-on textbook that they can use to study with. There is then our live online course, where these are weekly online live lessons taught by our AP educators. So a scheduled time in the week that learners attend the live class and are taught via our AP experts and engage as if they would in a classroom, but via our live teaching technology. Learners will also have a program coordinator to assist with any queries. They'll equally be part of a dedicated WhatsApp group where they can get support from their peers, from their educators and our coordinators. And it also includes a physical write-on textbook. And then lastly, the other stream that's available to learners is InPerson Excellence. And these are weekly in-person lessons taught by our educators. It's very much the same as our live online lessons, except happen at a physical classroom instead of a digital classroom. Importantly though, our in-person center for advanced program maths is in Durban. So you would need to be in Durban. It's in Durban Westville. So you'd need to be in that region to be able to attend this stream. Essentially, we provide for those three streams because different streams of learning, different modes of learning suit different learners and different contexts. In terms of studying AP Maths through Advantage Learn, the syllabus is according to the prescribed syllabus, the prescribed IEB syllabus, whereby we cover calculus and algebra, which are in bold there because those are the compulsory components of the advanced program syllabus, and then an elective where learners have been required to choose one of those three electives, either statistics, finance and modeling, or graph theory and matrices. And we offer all of those electives via at least one of our learning streams at Advantage Learn. It's an extracurricular program which happens over 3 years from grade 10 to 12. There's 32 weeks of learning in the year. And in terms of the level of effort per week, that's estimated at between 90 to 120 minutes per week. We've really been very careful and around structuring the program in such a way that it's not too burdensome on learners' time on a weekly basis. Learners do have full schedules. We understand that. And so we've structured the program to be sensitive to that. We don't, outside of the prescribed learning for the week or the in-person or the live online lesson that happens depending on which stream you take, we don't prescribe homework outside of that. And then we help learners towards the assessments with targeted revision and exam preparation sessions. And there are 4 assessments in the year that learners will write in the advanced programs. In terms of advanced program physics, the syllabus that we cover as per the prescribed IEB syllabus is analytical skills in grade 11, analytical skills, thermal physics, modern physics, and mechanics, which mechanics then continues on into grade 12, where the other 2 topics covered in grade 12 are charged particles in electric and magnetic fields and oscillations. As with advanced program maths, it's an extracurricular program. It happens, this AP Physics is a 2-year program, so in grade 11 and grade 12, and there are 28 weeks of learning per year at an estimated weekly commitment of about 90 minutes of learning per week, and then 4 assessments per year. Okay, and now I'm going to talk to some changes happening in the advanced programs. Some exciting changes that the Independent Examination Board, the IEB, through which the advanced programs are certified, have just announced. And that is that the IEB have established a new division called the IEB International and just launched a new qualification called the International Secondary Certificate, which has been benchmarked globally by UK ENIC to be comparable and is comparable to the GCSE advanced level standard. So that's the general, that should be GCSE, General Certificate of Secondary Education, which is what is studied in the UK. And this certification is being quality assured through a credentialing unit at the University of Stellenbosch. So the advanced programs have always been benchmarked globally to an A-level standard, but the IEB are extending this to a full international secondary certificate that many independent schools will be taking on going forward. And so it really is entrenching the fact that the advanced programs are core to ensuring that learners' high school leaving certificate is a globally relevant certificate. And so what that means is it is going through a slight name change going into 2022 and beyond. So that brings me on to further studies. That is what it will be called going forward. So advanced program physics will become further studies physics. Advanced program mathematics paper 1, or calculus and algebra, will become further studies maths standard. So that will be where through that examination you would get the further studies maths standard certificate. If you also study an elective, that would be further study. You would be able to study 2 papers in matric and get a further studies maths extended certificate under the International Secondary Certificate provided by the IEB. In terms from a content perspective, it remains unchanged. It is simply a name change, an inclusion of the advanced programs into the recently launched International Secondary Certificate that the IEB have formulated and spent many years in terms of getting to this point. So it's a really exciting development for South African learners and African learners as a continent in terms of ensuring that they leave high school with a globally relevant certificate. Okay, so in terms of more about the final exam in grade 12, you will need to register in your grade 12 year to write the IEB Advanced Program final exams. The registration cost for these exams in 2021 was 1,028 Rand, just to give you line of sight in that regard. We assist all of our learners to register for the IEB final exam, and then each learner, one point to note is that each learner will need to achieve 50% or higher to receive the IEB certificate. And that is generally delivered to the center they write at in the second week of January the following year. Okay, and this is a distinct change from 2021. In 2021, 40% or higher was a pass and learners would achieve the advanced program certificate. Moving into 2022, that is moving up to 50%, which is a change to note. In terms of our course costs, these are our course costs for the year across the various streams, guided online, live online, and in person. If learners pay up front before the program begins, they are eligible for a 10% upfront discount. Learners from our partner schools also receive a further discount in that regard. And then if you are looking to take on a different payment plan like semesterly payments, we have those available to our learners, and we also have a 10-month debit order option, which includes a 10% admin fee. And this is all available on advantagelearn.com. To apply to be on our advanced programs, you simply go to advantagelearn.com, navigate to our advanced programs, click the apply now button and submit your application. And then our applications team will get back to you in terms of the success of your application. And Norm will drop in the chat a link to our how to apply document for the advanced programs, so that you can take that away with you and you can reference it once you've decided you want to move forward with the advanced programs in 2022. So that's it in terms of the advanced programs. If you have any questions, please pop up your hand or post it in the chat, or in the chats on Facebook, and Norm will escalate to me. So I'll pause for a moment to field any questions before moving on to our academy and giving you an idea of what our academy is all about. All right, so I don't see any questions via the chat or the Q&A, and nothing coming via Facebook. So I'm now going to move on to the Advantage Learn Academy and give you an understanding of what that is all about. So our advanced programs are advanced maths, advanced program maths, and advanced program physics. Those are advanced level courses where learners learn maths and physics beyond the core high school syllabus. Okay. Our academy at Advantage Learn is all about helping learners to achieve and excel in their core subjects, specifically focused on the STEM subjects. So our philosophy in the academy is all about closing gaps in science and maths, helping learners to revise their science and maths and extend them in their core maths and their physical science, to help them excel and take their maths and science marks to the next level. And we work consistently to make this the leading online program that does this in South Africa. Okay, and so there is a bit of a distinction within our academy. There's our academy and there's our Academy Plus. Our academy focuses on core subjects, maths and science, and helping learners to take their maths and science marks to the next level. Our Academy Plus is all about future skills. So giving learners an opportunity to learn subjects that are not necessarily part of the core curriculum at a high school level, but are important skills to learn in terms of preparing learners for the future world of work. So our Academy and Academy Plus is all about building confidence for the future, building understanding with experts. As I've mentioned, it is an online program, so you can learn anywhere online. And we take a consistent revision and spaced reinforcement approach, so learners are practicing their maths and their science, and through that, inevitably getting better. It also includes a wealth of supplementary resources to support learners via our maths library, our science library, and our robotics library on our platform. And in terms of the academy, we focus on taking your science or your maths to the next level. And in terms of the Academy Plus, as I've mentioned, it's all about learning 4 IR skills. So fourth industrial revolution skills, or skills relevant to the future of work. And in the Academy Plus, we give the learners an opportunity to learn robotics and coding. Okay, so in terms of who should join the Academy, it's learners who want to extend themselves and excel in STEM subjects. It's learners who are interested in maths, physical science, and robotics and coding and want to excel. Learners who want to stay on top of their work to ease the load during exam time, and learners who want additional support and extension. In terms of how the Academy works, our Maths and our Science Academy work in very much the same way. Our Maths Academy is from grade 8 to 12, and our Science Academy from grade 10 to 12. It consists of live weekly lessons where we have a lesson with our learners every week in a live capacity, access to our wealth of resources on our campus, our Advantage Learn campus, so access to Maths online in the Maths Academy, access to Science online in the Science Academy. Learners and parents are kept up to date and on track by our program coordinators, and we have frequent formative tests, small tests that aren't high stakes tests, to make sure learners are practicing and to ensure that we understand where their gaps are, and we work to close those gaps. And then all learners form part of a dedicated WhatsApp group where they can get support from our coordinators, our educators, and also from their peers in the academy. Our Maths Academy is designed by Trish Pike, a leading mind in maths education at a high school level in South Africa. And our Science Academy is designed by Tyler Rodriguez and myself. And between the two of us, we have an extensive experience in physical science education and have done our best to put together the leading online science program for learners in South Africa. The Academy includes worksheets and notes, tests and test memos, lesson recordings after the live lesson, so learners have access to all lesson recordings, online support, test feedback on our tests, and then if learners enroll for the full year on the Academy, they also get access to our exam preparation workshops at no additional cost. And then, as I've mentioned, our self-study tools, Maths Online and Science Online, or our robotics library, depending on which academy learners enroll in. In terms of the pricing for the program, the pricing for the academy is around 3,000 Rand per term. But if you enroll for the full year, you essentially get in the region of 18,000 Rand worth of value. Because through that registration, you're getting weekly live lessons, tests, and feedback via the academy, which is in the region of 12,000 Rand worth of value. You're getting access to Maths Online and Science Online, which is in the region of 1,620 Rand per annum in value as self-study resources which supplement the learning. And then you're also getting access to our exam preparation workshops, which on average across the grades work out to in the order of 4,000 Rand per annum. So learners really get an extensive amount of value through our academies. And yeah, it's been a great year in 2021 watching learners grow and excel in their STEM subjects via the academy. The Academy Plus philosophy is very similar to our core academy philosophy. However, we focus on bridging gaps between now and the future with a lens of the fourth industrial revolution and getting learners ready for that. So in the Academy Plus, we have our Robotics Academy. And this is for high school learners. It's not grade specific. So to do robotics, you'll not need any prerequisite knowledge, but it's for high school learners, grade 8 to 12. And the course goes through the content from a beginner level and enables the learner to grow in their competency. It also consists of live weekly lessons and access to our video lessons, and it's a 1-year program that we carry out in partnership with Robotics, who are experts in this field. And yeah, it's been a really fantastic course this year, where the curriculum essentially comprises of 3 modules. Module 1 being an engineering module where learners actually build an autonomous line following car with the guidance from our educators in weekly live online lessons, learning the fundamentals behind it and actually building it with the kits that they receive as part of the academy. Module 2 is also an engineering module where learners can learn access control using RFID tags. This module is left for learners to do in a self-paced manner over their break in the live schedule of the Robotics Academy. And so learners can do this in a self-study manner using the video lessons on our robotics library. And then module 3, which is carried out in a live online framework, is a computer sciences and data analytics module where we teach these concepts and skills via game development in Python. And so via the Robotics Academy, learners are getting exposed and learning really interesting concepts such as robotics, coding, and computer sciences. And the videos we've got of the projects that learners have built this year are incredible, and you'll see more of that via advantagelearn.com in the coming months. In terms of the Academy Plus pricing, it consists of a kit to work to build, actually physically build the projects on a week-on-week basis with our experts, and that's the cost of the kit. And then there's the actual live online academy cost for a total cost as indicated in the slide. If you pay up front before the program starts, you receive a 10% discount. Okay, so as with the academy, it includes access to all live lesson recordings. It also includes access to a library of pre-recorded lesson content. The Robotics Academy is 16 weeks of live lessons, broken up into 2 semesters of 8 weeks each, and learners will receive a completion certificate at the end of the program. To register for both our Academy and our Academy Plus, you simply navigate to advantagelearn.com, click on the Academy button on our homepage, and you'll quickly find the application button where you can apply and submit your application to be part of our Academy. And that brings us to the end of what I wanted to go through formally in terms of our Academy and our Academy Plus. So the real differentiation is that our advanced programs are advanced courses where learners receive additional certification and additional qualification, whereas our core academy focuses on taking learners' results in their core maths or their core physical science to the next level. Or in our Academy Plus, learners are given the opportunity to learn 4 IR skills that aren't necessarily offered in the formal curriculum currently. But there is definitely a trajectory towards formalizing those subjects into the high school curriculum. So I've covered everything I wanted to cover with you this evening. I hope that has helped and has given you the insight you need to move forward. There's a couple of frequently asked questions that I'll just run through briefly. You might be thinking it before we close for this evening. One question that you might think of is, why should we choose the academy over a private tutor? Okay, it's a good question. First of all, the academy is different from private tuition. You're part of a class where the focus is on really taking your marks to the next level, revising, closing gaps, and extending you, not just revising and closing gaps. We also are working to extend you. So you're part of a class that has a real mindset towards improving markedly in science and maths. It also comes with a wealth of resources and access that you wouldn't necessarily have via private tutors. And so it is actually remarkably affordable in that regard. Learners get full access to our library of digital resources via our campus, which are significant. and formative assessments on a frequent basis, where we are identifying gaps in a very active way and then closing them in the weekly live lessons. And so if you work it out on a per hour basis, our academy is actually very affordable as compared to private tuition. Having said that, different mediums work for different learners. Sometimes a private tutor is the right call for a certain learner. Sometimes the academy is better. Okay, so if you're on the fence about it, I'd say give it a try. You can enroll for a term and see how it goes, and give us the opportunity to show you how powerful the academy can be. So how do you structure what is covered if learners from all different schools attend and are doing different parts of the curriculum at different times? This is a really good question. So in the Maths and Science Academy specifically, we've got learners joining from all over the country from different schools, IEB and DBE schools. And so the natural question is, well, how do you reconcile that different learners from different schools and different assessment bodies may be covering different things at different times? And the reality is, yes, they are 100% are. However, the underlying curriculum is the same for all learners, both in the IEB and the DBE. The maths curriculum is 97% the same, and as is the science curriculum, it's 95% the same. And so we focus on the really significant topics that learners struggle with, and that will lead to the highest impact on their results in their final matric exam in maths and science. And so in the academy, we will not necessarily cover topics in the same order that you are covering them at school. And that is, to be honest, a real advantage. So if the topic is covered in the academy ahead of school, well, you're set up with a really solid foundation towards learning it at school and making sure that you fine-tune your understanding within the classroom framework at school. If you're learning the topic in the academy after you've covered it at school, you're in a position in the academy to fine-tune your understanding, revise it, and make sure that we resolve any gaps in the academy in that regard. And also, if you're learning it ahead of time, we'll be extending you and stretching you. Many people have actually said to me that fact is actually the most beneficial thing about the academy, because it makes sure that learners are revising concepts in a spaced way in different times of the year, not forgetting about concepts throughout the year. They are covering them at different intervals at school and in the academy, and that's really helpful in terms of reinforcing those topics. The other question, what happens if my learner has a commitment on the day and can't make the lesson? All of our live lessons are recorded and made available to learners via our campus on advantagelearn.com. So learners can catch up via the live recording. This is a good question. Well, can I be part of AP Maths, the Science Academy, and the Maths Academy all at once? Yes, you can. We schedule them in such a way that you can actually be part of multiple programs with us. And we do have learners that take on multiple programs in this regard. So that pretty much brings us to the end of the presentation.